So, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab. I see you shiver with anticipation.
Madness takes its toll, but listen closely.
Alright, we did the time up with Columbia and then Magenta, and now we're going to finally do the time warp again, but with Dr. FRANK-N-FURTER. This time around at least. Last one, I promise.
Alright, let's see those pearly whites.
I'm a piranha.
I'm actually not starting this off with makeup, but rather a tooth, as Tim Curry had very distinct teeth when filming the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I also do, but in a very different way, which I will be covering up with the same plastic pellet and melt it down as I used for my mask's teeth with Tim Curry. Very close. I placed them in hot water, allowed them the time to go translucent, placed a small piece around my tooth, the same one obviously as his, and molded it into a general shape. But because his tooth is so shaped into almost a spear, I then cut that with scissors until it was fairly similar. Now you could paint something like this, but this is going to be in my mouth, so I wasn't super willing to. You can definitely tell the difference as this material is stark white, but it doesn't show up that much in photos or on video, so I just went with it. Not good, but good enough. However, continuing with the hair, at first my plan of attack was to do the same thing as I did with the Magenta, where I just put in a whole bunch of braids, it slipped in when it's wet, and then when I woke up, it was very crimped. But the tight crimps weren't giving me the look that I wanted, so I opted to just curl my hair. I then primed my entire face to get it ready for the white face paint. I did a few strokes of white onto my face, then heavily blended them out with a sponge to equally disperse them. And I did this a few times. Well, in between each layer, I did the same method I've done before with covering my brows. As always, I did one eye off camera, using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk as my eye base, as I'm a big fan of how it holds product and covers my brows texture. Further. I'm using it to map out my entire eye look when usually I would just use it on my lid, but this time I'm completely avoiding my lid. And then I am just packing, and I mean packing on product. His eye makeup is very predominantly sectioned off. I've started off with the top portion and a very hefty amount of a dark, cool toned brown, which is probably the messiest portion to this because you can easily clean up both edges later, and then followed up with a more dense brush and a lighter warm brown. And then going further in with an even more dense and smaller brush to add more of the warmer shade, really make that line of demarcation, and this is where you can clean up the bottom edge of this. Then with black liner on my lid this time, I'm making a little bit of a wing, and this is now going to be my base for the black shadow that I'm going to be using. Alongside an eyeliner brush to make it wing out. Back in with the sponge and white to go over any areas with fallout and then clean that up. A lot of cleaning this time around. Kind of. Jesus. Really? Pulling the black under my eyes. And then using a black liner as my new brows, which is where you'll have the ability to clean up the top section of the brow that was the messiest portion. I'm lining my waterline with the same liner as I used as my base, and adding some mascara to my top lashes, and some green liquid lipstick that is eye safe to my bottom lash line to pay homage to his very, very green eyes. As for contour, I'm doing some around the bridge of my nose and my nostrils and blending that out with what's left on my white beauty sponge. Then going to town with more contour on my cheeks, adding some, blending it the fuck out, and adding more. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is very intense with their contouring. Finally, I'm going in once more over the areas around my lips with that sponge, again, just basically what's left on it, using a dark purple liner to line my lips and give me a very strong cupid's bow. Again, they're very defined here. And then the same red I've been using for all of my Rocky Horror Picture Show looks. Adding some big pearl, like a necklace, almost like Marge Simpson worthy, to my DIY costume, which I made all by myself and also altered. That is it for these looks. That is it for today's video. I do hope you guys enjoy. Happy Halloween.